Hey y'all, I was sitting up here talking to my big sister. I don't know. I'm just leaving work, and I'm just leaving work. Work was a good day today. I don't know. So I haven't been on Facebook in a while. I just stopped going on there. Maybe because I was just doing too many vlogs, or I at one point in time I had my real information up, and then when I had my losses, I just got rid of all my friends, even family members. I couldn't. I was going through life, so I started vlogging about my marriage and our losses, and then I started, you know, getting in with groups and creating groups to help women, actually help women with the loss of their babies and everything. And so yeah, and so now, it seems like my oldest brother from New York, he's on Facebook, and I just started going through my messages. And my oldest sister, now these are blood relatives. We both got the same fathers. You were just looking at my past videos. We both got the same father, not the same mother, but these are this is my oldest sister, right? And she lives about 2-3 hours away. So she asked this question. Now, first of all, I spoke to my uncle today that my mother had was trying to get in touch with, my real uncle, my nana's son. And he finally answered his email, because my mother was like, see, because she's not good with Facebook. She was like, see if you can get in touch with your uncle. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, my phone just fell. And I'm like, okay. So I looked him up, and I'm like, okay, mommy, I found him. And so I sent him a message, a friend request, and I said, my mother, your sister's trying to get in touch with you. So he finally gets back, right? And we're sitting here and talking, and he's like, how's your husband doing? And I'm like, or how's marriage going? I'm like, all of a sudden, it's like my heart caved. I'm like, everything's going good. I'm divorced. But I'm so happy to have my daughter. And my uncle just said, well, you know what? And that's the reason. Everything happens for a reason, but that's the reason why it happened. You had your daughter. So I was like, whew, he didn't say too much. And next thing you know, I received another message. First of all, I had all of these messages that I didn't even realize I had. And my oldest sister, was like, hey, sis. And I'm like, hey. And she's like, how's it going? I'm like, it's going pretty good. And she said, how's married life? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, life is good, but I'm divorced. What? Why, girl? What happened? I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't feel like going. I mean, all I could have did was just send her a video. You can go through all of the daggone videos that I've ever posted about it. But yesterday, I was speaking to my god sister, and she was just like, so hey, what's going on? So how's it going? Have you heard from Matt? I'm like, oh, he's doing fine. Sometimes I just try to avoid it. Like when I go to church, I'm just like, when people ask about him, I'm like, oh, he's doing fine. I try to avoid it. And then I get this anxiety feeling when I think about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, me and my sister, we had this long conversation, and she was like, well, I think when people hear divorce, the first thing they say is, this wasn't of God, or maybe God is saying that it wasn't for you. And I'm like, I try to really think and say, maybe it wasn't by you, God. Like, how does it feel when I say, maybe my marriage, the man that I married, maybe it was not of God. I'm just trying to see, how does that ring a bell? Maybe y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I say that out my mouth, it doesn't fit well with me when I say that. I feel really sick, like as if I'm just freaking lying. Yeah, I had to put my seatbelt on. I know when I pull, I need to be more cautious of that. And that remind me, my ex-husband used to get on me about that, not put my seatbelt on. But anywho, I just feel more, it's like I'm lying to myself if I say that this was not of God. I mean, I don't know. And so I guess she was trying to explain certain things or why. Like, for instance, I told her, like, I didn't really go too much in detail, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is that she used to be married too. She says that she feels like she was young at that certain time. I said, do you think about your husband? And she was like, not really. I look back and say we were young and we were just dumb. So I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe in time I'll start to view my situation in a much different light, right? But it was like everybody just asking, like, how's your, and I'm gonna tell you another thing too, because I pay my tithes, right? Especially like to like food for the poor and stuff like that. And they always send me back a thank you for your gift, and it always has his name and my name on it. And I'll be wanting to call and just be like, please just don't even put his name on it. And some other charities, I guess they get the memo. I don't know, but it's just sometimes it just frustrates me because I'm just like, Lord, what is this? And so anyway, I'm speaking to my sister, and she's coming up with all certain scenarios of why this may not have been of God for me and my ex-husband to have gotten married. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to not agree, but I'm sitting up here looking at this like, well, maybe, but it's like I'm not getting that. I'm not getting any of that. I'm not getting any of it at all. I mean, I told her, I mean, how do you know when your husband was not or your wife was not for you? Because if I'm like, well, Lord, maybe this wasn't your will, because he up and he left, and the warning signs, maybe I wasn't paying attention to it. And then it's like the Lord is like, well, Mona, if I said that about your case, then everybody else has an excuse to come up with why it's okay to get a divorce or why it's okay to be remarried, when I already told you that it's not. And so I'm just like, okay, I don't know, y'all. It was just one of those things where it's just like, I guess it's a huge embarrassment too. It's so embarrassing that now it's to the point where family members are now finding out, like, you're not married. You know what I mean? And it seems like they're looking at all of those married photos, and they're like, you just got married. What are you talking about? And I'm too embarrassed to say that he abandoned me. You know what I'm saying? I'm too embarrassed to even say that. So it's kind of like, Lord, I don't know what you want me to say about this situation. I know in time that this all will be behind me. I guess I'm to the point where I'm just so tired of thinking about it. And then also too, I don't know what's going on in my ex-husband's life right now, but I feel something is really up with him, like something's going on with him. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just had this feeling like something's going on with him. But nevertheless, y'all, I was speaking to my sister today, and she asked those questions. And it was crazy because I was talking to my uncle too on Facebook. And I try to, especially after having my daughters, I try to really avoid real life. Not real life, but certain people. And then when I got a divorce, I mean, all of y'all know. I mean, this is YouTube. Anybody and everybody can look at YouTube, I don't know. So it's like, I don't know. And I told you I had a dream one time that I knew it was a DJ, but I knew this DJ was Jesus. I just knew he was Jesus. And he asked me this question. I knew it was Jesus. He asked me this question and said, who did your music, who produced your music. That's what he said. Now in the dream, I wanted to say my ex-husband, but I knew it was a trick question. I knew that I needed to tell the truth. So I said, my husband did. And he said, okay. That was in my dream. So it's like, but then I had another dream. So it's like, when someone asks you the question, maybe this wasn't of God. This couldn't have been of God. Did you hear what you just told me? This is what my sister said, because I told her a little bit of how we lost 3 babies that went on to be with the Lord. And then when we had Symphony, it kind of like, that's when everything kind of went downhill after we had her, And she said, did you hear what you said, because you lost 3 babies? I'm thinking to myself, like, I know women who that are married and they lost babies. But I really believe that around that time, me and my ex-husband, our faith was being tested. It was being tested like, are you going to still be loyal because you just lost your babies? Are you going to turn your back on me? Like, I really felt like the devil was trying to test me in my life. Are you going to give up when I told you that y'all are going to have a baby? We both was trying for a baby, and it hit us both. So, I mean, I would lie. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I do believe that my marriage was ordained by God. I do believe it. I mean, I can't even. I do believe it. I'm not going to even sit up here and lie to y'all and say that it wasn't, I just think that in every walk in life that people change up what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So if he didn't want to be married, he didn't want to be married. But I wish I could say, no, this wasn't the man I wasn't supposed. This was not the man I was not supposed to be with. Like, this wasn't. But I would be lying. And right now, y'all, I don't even know why I'm crying. It's so embarrassing. But I would be lying if I tell y'all that it wasn't by God. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Where did that come from? I mean, I'm just thinking, y'all. Like, me and him, he used to read the Bible a lot. Especially when he got saved. I was there when my husband first came to the Lord. I remember him walking in the room, and at first he would leave out of the room when I would say my prayers. And one day he came in the room and he said, he grabbed my hand and was like, God, I want you to come into my life. And that was beautiful for me to see my husband give his life over to the Lord. And then from there, we started to really focus on God. We started talking about his goodness and his mercy. So I can't even say that was just fake. I can't say that it wasn't true. Maybe God knew that my husband was dealing with, maybe he knew that, he was dealing with some medical issues. And maybe he knew that in some point of, I don't know, that we brought this beautiful child in this world. I don't know. But I know one thing. Divorce happens. I know in time I would be fine, but I guess it's like you try to avoid those questions, because when people ask what happened, and it's replaying. But when people you want me to lie to you and say that this was not of God. You want me to say, oh, I chose the wrong person, or I look at my daughter, and if I had to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. I would. And I know y'all hear me when I'm on here and I'm frustrated at my husband and everything like that. And I'm like, no, But the truth of the matter is that I still care for him and I still do love him. And I still do want him. I still want him to do the best. And he hurt me. He did. But that's just life, And the truth of the matter is that, when you look back at the pictures and the beautiful day that me and him, we got married, you can't redo anything like that. I know a lot of people will make fun of it and, but this is my life, whatever. People try to put on this front and say, oh, it doesn't hurt, oh, you'll do just fine. But I understand that, but I made my choice. And my choice, I chose him. And I also said, God, you know what, in the marriage, it doesn't matter what may come, I choose him, and I'm not going to take it back because this justifies certain things. I don't know. Everybody wants to make excuses. I don't feel like making excuses. I just don't. And even to the point where when people ask me these questions, I don't even want to say it because it's not only is it embarrassing for me to say, but it's embarrassing for him too, because you tell somebody, oh, when my husband abandoned me, it not only looks shameful, but it looks shameful for him, and I don't feel like doing it. So I tried to, now people ask me this question and it's just like, I'm divorced. Hey, I don't know. Today, I don't know, y'all. Today was just, it was one of those days, how your day is just going pretty good and you're in the groove of things, and then you're saying, hey, how's it going? And it's like, how's married life? You're like everything tighten up. You dreading on having to type this thing back. I don't know. I don't know. I know in time that it will get better. I know in time it will get better. I've been separated now for 2 years now. So, I guess a little over 2 years. I don't know. I think that when you are divorced, that it's natural to feel this way. It's natural. I think too that it hurts even more when there's a door that has been closed with no answers to questions that you've had for a long time of why, and those questions may never be answered. They may never be answered, and you just have to learn and just say, you know what, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit up here and say like it was a mistake. Like, I look at my daughter, that's not a mistake at all. That wasn't a mistake. Maybe that's the way he feel, but I'm not gonna sit up here and say I wish I married somebody else. That's insane. I would be a freaking lie if I sit up here and tell you that I made a mistake by marrying the man that I love. And the thing about it is that to some people out here, yes, I may get upset and lash out at what he did, but to some people, they just don't understand. How can you still love somebody? I married him. Like, what I had with him, I'll never have with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even have that with my daughter. Like, I married him. And the thing is that he thinks that his father has him thinking like I did certain things, or how can I say it without someone trying to use it in the court of law. But he know that if I love you and I'm your wife, I would never do that. I would never give that away. But anywho, I don't know why, y'all. Today, I don't know why. Today, I guess when she had that talk with me on Facebook, it just opened up a whole thing of whatever. I'm just being transparent, and I don't care. I don't care that this person say, ha ha, that's why this white man left you, or that's why he did that. You want the truth? I still love him, and I'm going to always love him. I married him. And I hate how everybody has to go around here and act like I don't care, I'm so tough. That stuff hurts. Divorce hurts. Divorce hurts, and I don't wish this on nobody. You know, because it's okay. For me, it's only January, February, March, April, May. It's only what? 5 months? Okay. It's only 5 months. But I don't want to lie. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say it wasn't from God, or it wasn't, none of this had anything to do with God. That I would be lying like crazy. I would be a freaking lie if I tell you that it wasn't from God. I would be lying to you if I tell you that. Well, maybe God didn't put it together. Even when I say, well, God looking at me like, Mona, bye. You already know. You already know. And then, sometimes some people are too afraid to say certain things because they're afraid of what the future would bring, or what if you find someone else in the near future. So I guess I shouldn't say that. I will highly doubt that I would ever love anyone like I loved my husband, my first husband. Like, now how do I feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't there when I lost babies and he was encouraging me. You wasn't there when he was telling me that I always keep my eyes on Jesus. You wasn't there that when we lost our kitten and he put that kitten up to his inside of his coat pocket just to see if that cat was breathing. You wasn't there. So I'm supposed to tell you that it was all a lie, that this wasn't the man I was supposed to be with. You wasn't there. Like, I'm supposed to just say, well, that was only the good parts, but all of these parts is what you're supposed to hate this person for. You wasn't there when you knew it wasn't him, and you realized that there's something else going on. I don't know. But maybe I should lie. Maybe I should tell people that this marriage was fake. This marriage was not for real. This was not of God. People change. That's what his attorney told me. His attorney asked me, why do you still love him? Why do you want to be with someone who you say he did all of this. Why do you still want? This is what Vogelman said. This is the older attorney. And I said to him, because he stuck beside me when we went through all of that. And he said, well, people change. And I realized that, yes, people do change. But y'all, let me tell you something. Jesus don't change. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So, you know, I told my sister, so it's either this. I got two choices. Either I'm going to continue on praying for the man that I married, or I'm going to be an adulterer. Like, what is, it's only two choices to choose from, right? It's hard, though. It's hard. So today was one of those days where I don't know where that came from, but that really triggered me. Like, it really triggered me. And so, but my uncle said something. It was like, well, that's the reason why. And, you know, don't worry what people think. Stand your biblical ground and keep praying. I do. Amen to that. Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. You know, if God can forgive, then everyone can forgive, right? We all ought to forgive, right? I do believe that God can restore. I don't know if me and him would ever be how we used to be, but I have enough respect for him that I would not wish death upon him. I know I've been saying a lot of whatevers, but I think it's because I was just hurt. You know what I'm saying? When somebody hurts you, you try to suppress it and try to down it. You know what I'm saying? But when you really look at it, I mean, that's why God says this too shall pass. You look at things in a different light. So, yeah. You know how those saying, you made your bed, now you gotta lay in it. I chose him. Now I just gotta deal with the repercussions of it. That's the whole thing about marriage. People try to make excuses or why this was not meant to be. Maybe God wanted to use Matt to do this, and maybe he wanted me to do that. Maybe he saw something coming and he knew that it was going to be bad, so he separated. Maybe he wanted a seed to come out, and that was Symphony. Maybe this is all in God's plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but I do know that I don't regret knowing him. I don't regret being his wife. I don't regret having our babies and going on to be with the Lord and holding on to each other even closely. I don't regret having Symphony. You see what I'm saying? I don't even regret where I'm at right now, because if it wasn't for what I went through, what we went through, what our family went through, I wouldn't even be talking to y'all right now. Like, I wouldn't even be talking about this subject right now. So, I don't know, y'all. Maybe God doesn't cause divorce. The enemy does. Don't think your divorce was God's plan. No, I don't think it was God's plan. But I do know in all things God get the glory in it. I do know that. When, you know how they say God is not the author of confusion. God can stir up some things. He can. But this is the question, though. You said that God isn't the author of divorce. Well, what is a divorce in God's eyes? Is it a piece of paper from the judge or from him? You see what I'm saying? Like, what is a divorce in his eyes? By the land, I am divorced. You see what I'm saying? But God is still get the glory out of it. You know, like when my daughter passed away, I'm like, so you telling me, God, you getting the glory out of my daughter passing? I had to question that. And then God showed me that, Mona, just because in the flesh right now, when Melody and Harmony and your promise, your baby hands went on to be with the Lord, do you think it stops there? You know what I'm saying? it doesn't stop there. It stopped when you accept Jesus Christ. You get everlasting life, so you get a second chance to see your children again. Maybe that was just, maybe this was just what I needed to go through. I don't know. Maybe that's what he needed to go through, what I needed to go through, or this was just a point in our lives that we were just supposed to be at that time, and then that was it. I don't know where that came from. But like I said, my god sister yesterday asked, "How's such and such doing?" I'm like, "Oh, he's fine." I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel like. I mean, if they say if the statistics are saying 50% of people deal with divorce, then people should understand that this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But y'all, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna see my baby. And I'm gonna probably take an Advil or something. I don't know. I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. And I still gotta take Solo out. I don't know. I guess when she asked that question, like, it was just it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't of God, or, you know, people know the truth. You know the truth, whether your marriage was of God or not. You know the truth. You can lie. You can come up with excuses. You can say this, but you know if it was of God or not. We had we had a beautiful relationship. We did. I'm not even going to sit up here and be like, oh, he was this, he was that. No, we had a beautiful relationship. We barely argued. We just had a wonderful relationship. He was like my best friend. I thought that at one point in time that my husband was the smartest person on the planet. Like, he didn't judge me if I had a question about something, or, I felt like we had a very beautiful relationship. If that was all a lie, then to me, I guess it was a beautiful lie, but it was genuine. It was. Things happen. He made a choice, and when he walked away, he said no regret. And if he doesn't regret it, then that's fine. I also made a choice too. Is that when he asked my hand in marriage, I said yes. I made a choice. I could have said no, but I said yes. And in that, I didn't know that it was going to come down to a divorce. But marriage, in this day and time, you got to know what you up against. That's the reason why before we got married, we had to go to counseling and everything like that, because people try to make sure that you are for sure that this is going to happen. But I just felt like even in that, I was tested, because it's like I felt like, I don't know if he was losing his faith in God, but the people that married us, they lost their faith in God, after. Which I think is very dangerous on the wife end, because Jesus, the whole model of marriage is of him. So that's a whole nother story. But the Lord says that it's narrow, like the path is narrow. I'm just done with blaming him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I've accepted that. But what I'm not going to do is, I'm not going to lie so people can feel comfortable, or me come up with an excuse. I'm not going to lie about that. And I'm not going to be ashamed because I made a choice to marry this man. And a lot of people that want to laugh at my hurt, my pain, or laugh at my decisions, then laugh. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back and tell myself not to marry him. I wouldn't. You know why? Because right then I'm about to walk in this house and see my baby. So anyway, y'all have a blessed day. And I'm so sorry for my emotional thing. I don't know where that came from.